Welcome back for part 3, the final installment of our interview with the guy with 10,000 shares of Tesla. Well, the split's coming up, so it'll soon be 30,000 shares of Tesla. Not too shabby. Let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about stonks and investing generally and all that good stuff. You can find the previous 2 installments in the description below. Maybe I'll put them up on the screen at some point. You'll see. And we'll see how it goes and get back to you at the end. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. So what are you expecting from AI Day 2? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh gosh, I would like to be there. I need to talk to some people, see if I can get there somehow. I'm expecting they're going to give us an update on what they've done with DOJO so far. Maybe we'll hear like, okay, we've put together a DOJO training facility, AI training facility. You think of it as a martial arts place, right? A dojo. But it's a training facility for all their, billions of miles of data they've got coming in. Now, it's that recent video from Dave with James Dama, where he broke down he parsed some words that were said by Elon in an interview, and it's like 180,000 images were added or something, or frames, or videos, or something. But he broke it down to like it's 1 billion images, and it's like 1 million times. It's just staggeringly more images that are training the AI system than anybody else has. So,
and the self-driving autonomy is, of course, impossible. Just like growing a car company 50% year after year, just like reusing rockets, it's impossible. Just like powered flight, impossible.
Just because nobody's ever done it, right?
Right, it's impossible until it isn't.
Right,
and a lot of things that were impossible. James Dama points out that speech to text was impossible, and then once it was cracked globally within 2 years.
Yep. So that's where this is going, and I'm excited to hear some of the progress here. I just got my update yesterday. There was another update in the car, and I haven't noticed, everything it's been doing. I only drove this morning, but I'm just excited when these things come because I know there are improvements, and hopefully they'll share some metrics like, okay, we built a Dojo supercomputer with 500. We said we'd do 500. We've actually got 400, or maybe they'll tell us we've got 1,000 units in there, and it's cranking this much data. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I'm hoping for an update and then where they think they're going, over the next year or two. I'm pretty amazed, though, that they're giving us a report just 1 year later to the day. That's something's have to have happened quickly and done very well, I think.
And I don't think it's that they need to really push recruiting again, because applicants are very well aware of this project, and the number of applications was through the roof last time.
Yeah, 100 times in one day. But my guess is they've advanced so much, they're working on new problems. So they want to share what the new problems are to attract the right talent. So they want to share exactly what they need, because maybe things have changed, or things probably have changed. They've advanced, is what I'm guessing. They've advanced a lot. So they have new things to work on, so they want new people.
So
they need to
yesterday, over the last few days, by the time this comes out, over the last week, there was leaked emails from Elon saying, get back in the office, 40 hours minimum. We work hard here, period. As an investor, how do you feel about that?
Well, I watched Dave Lee's review on that right away, and Stephen Mark Ryan's, and I mean, that's actually how I found out about it. I kind of have to admit, a lot of times I watch these things daily, and sometimes that's how I first hear about things. It's easy to get lazy in doing your own research when we've got so many good resources out there. But then I did see it, and I could see. And then I went to the gym this morning with a couple guys that I work out with, and one of them was like, "Hey, Jose, this one guy's a recruiter, so he keeps up with workplace things. So he heard about it right away, and he's like, oh, there's already people. There's a lot of new new Tesla employees on LinkedIn. They've got their LinkedIn set to, open for work now. And so I was like, well, I guess that's gonna happen. And I thought, well, it may, it's probably going to overshoot. That's how things work. Elon's probably aware of that. Overshoot meaning there might be a quick brain drain, especially, and my buddy at the gym, he was like, especially like IT people, they're kicking back hard. And I thought, well, that makes sense. They would kick back hard because they think, I don't need to be there for solving these problems and stuff. And there may be some truth to that. So, I see where Elon's coming from, though, and they are a different company than all those other ones out there that are being compared to. Microsoft, Amazon, all these... Amazon, you could argue, is not like Microsoft, and, all these other ones are pure software. Twitter, Netflix, even. I just threw that in, but, it's pure software, pretty much, unless you're making movies. They're pretty much pure software. But Amazon has warehouses. They move things. But they don't make things. Tesla makes things. And that's all they do is make things. They have some good software and stuff too. But that's not their main product. The software supports hardware that they make. And from Elon's standpoint, he's saying, hey, I'm there. The factory workers are there. We need everybody on site. So, I can't really argue with it. I know for myself, I work better with a team, and there is something to the physical aspect of it. Now, I did work 5 straight years from home, and that went fairly well, but there were tough times that I know things would have been better if I was around people. But part of that was some corporate stuff, projects, management and projects being managed. I wasn't matched up with the right project and things like that. So, yeah, I think I totally understand where Elon's coming from. And it's a battle out there. I've read other things from other companies, and there are employees pushing back hard. But I respect Elon for standing for what he believes. And I believe in the principles that he's pushing there. It's that, work just gets done better when people are together as a team. And if we're building things, we need to be there. So.
Okay. What advice, and this will be the last one because we've gone on, I've taken quite enough of your valuable time.
That's all
right. What advice do you have for investors just generally? No matter what they're looking at, no matter what they're thinking about, if they're considering an investment, what's your advice?
Well, if you're going to decide to do it yourself, which I would recommend, you need to educate yourself on a lot of things. You have to be sound. You have to have a good financial understanding of, economics in general. You need to be able to manage your own money well first. That's a basic prerequisite. But as far as looking for companies to invest in, and I say it that way on purpose, I don't like to use the language looking for stocks to invest in, because I invest in a company, not a stock. The stock is the price of the company in the market. And, Warren Buffett says, in the short term, the stock market is a voting machine. In the long term, the stock market is a weighing machine. So, number one, the long-term view is what I would recommend. Wealth is built in the long term, not in the short term. So the weighing machine, that means that the companies that actually perform well in their business grow. Their stock price does grow over time. And, minimum of 5 years, 5, 10, 15 years. We're talking long time periods. The companies that do well grow. Now, there are parameters to look for a company that's going to do well. And the Motley Fool put some of these out, and there were very good recommendations they had. I don't have all of them off the top of my head from them, but I've made my own sort of list. And number one was the man at the top. Is he invested in the company? And Elon checks that like almost no one else. Like no one else. I mean, they have. I remember when. Do you remember when they used to have stock offerings, and he would buy $20 million of shares himself when they were having stock offerings? Just amazing. And he was probably borrowing on margin on the shares they already had in order to do that. But somebody who's invested, and companies that, well, like we said, we talked about some of these before. You have to have a growing company, a total addressable market that is big enough for continued growth, and are they really making things that are needed and useful in society? That goes along with total addressable market, but if you don't have something, then that market isn't going to grow. I remember I was looking at Crocs before. I mean, that's good, but it's very limited. The shoes.
Right.
And
have you seen Mary Barra is always liquidating her shares? She is always selling.
Yeah, and you need to. Number one, I would say learn to do your own research. It's critical to find good sources of information because the quote-unquote news outlets, the financial news outlets, are not generally a good source. You can find decent stock analysts out there. There aren't many. If you're going to follow a stock analyst, at least check their record on tip ranks. But use your brain and, fact check what they're saying. Don't take anything for gospel that is written in an article. Go look at the SEC records. Go to the company's website. Pull down their quarterly reports, their annual reports. Look at the numbers in there. Track them over time. Read what management says. Interpret it for yourself. And like I said, find good sources of people online. And today, I would recommend YouTube. There are so many good YouTubers out there. The retail investors, retail investors provide a lot more information than analysts even can a lot of times. And believe it or not, this was playing out maybe for the first time in the 90s with the Motley Fool. I remember with iOmega, these guys I would play basketball with in the morning were telling me that they were getting reports online on... So the Motley Fool started as a printed newsletter in like 1992 or 3. And you had to subscribe and you'd get it in the mail. But within a year or two, they went on AOL, on America Online. And so that's how their information was disseminated. And then with that, they had chat rooms where they could share information, and for specific companies. So you could go into the AOL chat room or the iOmega chat room and share information. So Motley Fool members, some of them lived near the iOmega factory, and they'd go sit there and watch, just like people do today. You've got, Joe Tegmeyer and these guys that film the factories and put it on YouTube. Well, people were going to the gate and watching the iOmega factory, watching the trucks go out, and reporting it online back in the 90s. Wow. So your sources of information are critical. I mean, that was great insight to a company like iOmega back then. They knew they were shipping. Like, we know they're shipping when they started, building enough Model 3s to ship to Europe. Same thing. We had people that were tracking the ships going overseas. They knew how many cars were on the boats. I mean, this is good information to have. So you don't necessarily have to go to that level with every stock you invest in, every company that you invest in. But that kind of information is out there, and it just shows you the depths of the detailed information that is available through the internet today, specifically with YouTubers and retail investors. There's stuff available for probably any company you want to invest in. People that follow it closely and have a YouTube channel for it.
Okay, well, Jose, I wish to thank you so much for such generous offering of your time. Do you have any questions for me before we go?
Oh, I should have written some down. So you're located in California? Where?
I'm about an hour north of Portland, Oregon.
Oh, okay. You were just saying you're East California time, I guess, East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Wow. So you traveled quite a ways down to Texas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Almost got into cyber rodeo. Next time, I'm sure. Next time.
Yeah, same here. I tried and tried, went back and forth, went over to the parking lot with the buses, didn't get in there, came back, and just like I said, stood on the
If you
road.
couldn't get in, what chance did I have?
Yeah, it's right. I came to understand that somebody told me that it was employees and Tesla Owners Club presidents were given tickets directly, so then they could, give them to some of their members, and then anybody who got in that was a YouTuber basically had a pass from an employee. So yeah.
Okay, well, in the comments, you guys, you have to let us know, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? And of course, as always, my friends, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in the next interview, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'd gladly do it again. Again.
So there it is, and there you go. That was a lot of fun. I really want to thank Jose for giving so generously of his time. I know, I already said that a couple times, but it's really important to me that we get that out of the way because it's valuable and it means a lot to me. So what did I miss or misunderstand? You know what? Quick thanks to my Patreons who get early access bonus content and ad-free experience, all that good stuff, and who got to see the whole interview even before the first installment came out to help me see it, fact-check it, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for choosing to support the channel. And to the rest of you guys, I appreciate you being here, leaving your comments, thumbs up, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and stay tuned, stay juicy. And I just can't wait to hear from you clever robots soon, I guess. Yeah.